Hi everybody, my name is David and this is the Cartoon Fortress channel. Thank you so much for coming by the channel today and watching this video. Very happy to be here with you all, and I hope you're all safe and happy wherever you're at in the world. Now today is the first episode of something that I'd like to do on a monthly basis. I'm trying to kind of set up a regular pattern of videos that you can expect on this channel. Recently we did the Letterboxd Digest episode 1, and this is the first episode of what I think I'm going to call a media roundup. I'm sure whatever the video's named, that'll be the the title that we're going with, but this is meant to serve as basically a recap of what the media titles that I have picked up for the month of January 2021. And we've got a lot to get to, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. I wasn't thinking this was going to be as busy of a month as it ended up being, but some great titles entered the collection, and it's hard to be mad at what I'm looking at here. So we'll go ahead, and I'm actually going to start with books. Now, recently I was talking to one of my good friends, Vanessa Bettino. We were talking in the comments on someone's post or video, and I had mentioned that I was starting to pick up more film books, and she was kind of welcoming me to to the club. She's an avid reader and collector of film books, and so I'm happy to kind of be shifting more of my collecting weight in the direction of film books, and there's some really great titles available. So we'll go ahead and get into this. So there's a new publishing company that I've added quite a few titles from recently. And this actually all started with some titles that my wife got me for Christmas, and this is Taschen. And the first title I have here is The Golden Age of DC Comics. So not super film related, but kind of in that same arena. So we have The Golden Age of DC Comics here with this very nice looking gold dust jacket. These are really nice editions, really sturdy filling, and in here you get a lot of the, just as the title says, the history of the golden age of DC Comics. And I'm trying to see, there's some really interesting pages in here. A lot of, well, I won't say a lot of reading because this is a very, very kind of visually heavy book, but you do get these little reading portions here, and just, yeah, kind of a visual history. You get these write-ups of the golden age of DC Comics, and kind of right in that same vein. And also, these aren't small books in terms of page count. Taschen, their books are usually quite lengthy. And I believe, if I can get to page count here, so this is 660 pages, and that's where the acknowledgments for the book hit. So definitely not small volumes here. And right in the same vein as DC, the Golden Age of DC Comics, we have the Marvel Age of Comics, 1961 through 1978. As you can see here, a little bit different presentation here. This doesn't have a dust jacket. It's a hardbound book also, but without the dust jacket. So yeah, this is 1961 through 1978, and you can see just really great presentation here. Again, very visually heavy, but you get some really cool visuals here on different kind of documents, and I believe there's letters and notes and stuff like that throughout this book as well. But just obviously a lot of comics. And admittedly, I'm not a big in fact, I'm not a comic collector at all. But I wanted to, and this one comes in at just over 500 and, let's see, we're at 510 pages on this one. I'm not a big collector of comics or anything like that, but I want to get into a little bit of the history of comics and kind of understand some of the roots of the comics that so many people love. And so I just wanted to dive into that a little bit. The next one from Taschen is definitely film related. This is 100 all-time favorite movies. And then on the back here you have M, really fantastic film. And then here you have, of course, Blade Runner. And so this is the dust jacket edition here. And this comes in at 829 pages. So again, a really thick edition here. So just to give you kind of an idea of what these pages look like. So here's a write-up on Woody Allen's Annie Hall. And let's see. So here's some info on Goldfinger. And sorry, I'll try and reduce glare as much as possible here. So there's Goldfinger. And as you can see, so here's actually my favorite film of all time. Here's a write-up on To Kill a Mockingbird. So there's definite reading here, and then the original poster. So, and then you get technical information on the film. You get director, screenwriter, the DP, editing, music, production, cast, and then notes on awards, like with To Kill a Mockingbird, Academy Awards 1962, Oscar for Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Art Direction. So really great information and great reading. Just really, really wonderful, and again, a really large book. But something I like about a lot of these Taschen books that I'm picking up is that they're not gigantic. So they're actually really easy to hold and to read, and they have this lay flat design. So when you're kind of thumbing through the book, the pages don't the book doesn't close really easily. I mean, it's a lay flat design, so you can really enjoy the book kind of wherever you're at in the book. So really well put together. And maybe the most astonishing thing here is the price point on these books. The three that I've shown you here come in at about $20 a piece. In fact, I think the DC Comics book was even like $16, $17, something like that. So really affordable. Now they do have some really, really premium editions. On their site, I know they have books that go for somewhere around $1,000. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of move these out of the way. Oh, sorry if we're getting some shaking on the camera there. And then I want to go ahead, just make sure there's no shaking here. Okay, so I want to go ahead and show you two other books that I picked up this month. And these are both from authors Dustin McNeill and Travis Mullins. And this is a subject matter that I am very, very interested in. In particular, these have to do with the Halloween films. And this one is the first book. So this is called Taking Shape, Developing Halloween from Script to Scream. And yeah, just caught my attention. I've seen several different people talk about this book, and yeah, just really interested in reading up on more of the history of Halloween. I feel like I've seen, I've really exhausted, the features and stuff put to disc, and I was looking for a book to kind of get more details maybe that I haven't read about before, and this seemed like a great route to go. So not only did Dustin McNeill and Travis Mullins write one book, They actually wrote 2, and the second volume, Taking Shape 2, The Lost Halloween Sequels, this goes into even more depth because we actually have a larger book here. So this one says prequels, sequels, reboots, crossovers. Authors Dustin McNeil and Travis Mullins are back to bring you an inside look at 24 lost Halloween sequels you never saw on the big screen. I mean, that's all I had to read to know that I'm going to be really interested in seeing what they have to say. And these kind of take on the feel of more like a college textbook. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but some great visuals and a lot of reading. So very much looking forward to diving into these two. So this is Taking Shape and Taking Shape 2. Again, I'll kind of throw these over here so I have some space to work with here. So those are a few of the books that I've picked up this month, and admittedly there were actually a few other books that came in this month, but I wanted to keep this video a little bit more concise, which I'm currently not doing a great job of, so we'll speed this up a little bit. Now I have these next, the movies and TV shows that I picked up for the month in sections. So first we'll start with more boutique label titles. Now Scream Factory recently had a sale for John Carpenter's birthday, and so I wanted to fill in some of the gaps on my John Carpenter collection, so I picked up 3 titles. The first one, a film that I have seen before and very much enjoy. This is Assault on Precinct 13. And a great addition here from Scream Factory with new interviews with actor Nancy Loomis Keys, and art director, sound effects designer Tommy Lee Wallace. You get an audio commentary, some more interviews, in fact, with John Carpenter, theatrical trailer, and radio spots. So really excited to add Assault on Precinct 13 into my collection. I have no idea why it took me this long to add this one to my collection, but I was glad to do so via the Scream Factory sale. I believe I spent, I want to say I spent about $15 on that one, as well as this next one. This is a made-for-TV movie from the 1970s, and this is John Carpenter's Someone's Watching Me. The special features on this one, we have a new 2K scan from the Interpositive, and then we get interviews, and then we also get a John Carpenter director Rising, so that's going to be an interesting feature to watch, and then also some TV promos. So yeah, I really like TV movies, and especially from the 70s, and so I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm trying to see, this is actually from 1978. Great year for John Carpenter. Yeah, so that's Someone's Watching Me. And the last one that I picked up from the Scream Factory sale, John Carpenter birthday sale, is Escape from LA. And I was glad to be able to get this one with the nice slipcover intact. And then here we have the reverse artwork on the actual Blu-ray case. And this is not one that I've seen. I've seen Escape from New York, which I absolutely love. And I've never seen Escape from LA, so I wanted to add this to the collection and give this a watch really soon. Special features here, we have a new 4K scan from the original camera negative, which I'm really excited to see the transfer on. New interviews and stills gallery, TV spot, and theatrical trailer. So, as always, really great work from Scream Factory. Now this next one, this is from a new label called Imprint out of Australia. And there's been some really great coverage on this label. Brian Sauer over at Just the Discs has featured a lot of these titles, as well as Heath over at Serial at Midnight are a couple of the channels I know that have been featuring great coverage on these guys, but there was one title in particular that I absolutely had to have, and that was Fire in the Sky from 1993. This is one of my favorite 90s movies. I absolutely love this movie, and I will be doing a more comprehensive review on this one on the channel. This is a movie I've seen many times, but I just want to dive into some deeper thoughts on this film and kind of the little bit of the surrounding story, and I kind of sort of have a more personal connection to this story. This takes place in the White Mountains here in Arizona, where I live. I don't live. I live in a different part of Arizona, but this takes place in the White Mountains in Arizona, where my wife actually grew up. And anyways, I just want to share some more thoughts on this film, as I feel like I have some things to say. But we get a really great package here from Imprint. 1080p presentation of the film, audio commentary, Fear from Above, the practical effects of Fire in the Sky, which there are some amazing effects in this film. Some really chilling sequences for sure. Borrowed Time, scoring Fire in the Sky, interview with composer Mark Isham. We Got to Go Back, Robert Patrick on Fire in the Sky. Touched by Light, D.B. Sweeney on Fire in the Sky, theatrical trailer and photo gallery. I'm glad to see that Robert Patrick and D.B. Sweeney were two interviews they were able to get. Out of the cast, they're the two that I would be most interested in hearing from. And those are new from 2020. So I don't know if those will be, just because it is 2020, or was 2020, if these will be more like Zoom type interviews, or what the setup is going to be. I know that's the direction that a lot of interviews had to go as far as supplements on discs for that year. But either way, I'm very excited to dive in the extra features on this one. And these have a nice slip box design. Now I didn't get this direct from Imprint. Here's the cover of the Blu-ray case. I actually bought this through Diabolic here in the States, and so it costs quite a bit less. It's really hard to import some titles, and to the shipping and everything on this, it was going to cost just an exorbitant amount of money to get this one title. So thank you very much, Diabolic, for having that in stock. All right, next up we have a title from Warner Archive, a label that is growing in my collection, and I'm really excited to take part in the next 4 for 44 sale. And if you happen to know, let me know in the comments if you know when those sales typically happen. I can't remember. I know Criterion, for instance, I know when their sales are and their flash sales. I have those kind of etched into my brain on when those happen. But Warner Archive, I'm not sure when those sales happen, so definitely let me know if you know when the next sale is going to be. But I just got a one-off title here on Amazon. This is a really great film with Humphrey Bogart, Edward G. Robinson, and Lauren Bacall. You can't go wrong with those three. I've actually been watching quite a few Edward G. Robinson films lately. I'm exploring some of his early gangster films, and I actually recently watched Double Indemnity, which is coming up in this video as well. Anyways, we have Key Largo here, and let's see, what year was this from? I believe this is in the 1940s. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. 1948. 1948, from what I can see on the back here. You can never seem to find the information when you need it when you're filming a video. But yeah, really, really great film, and I was really excited to see that Warner Archive had an edition of this. I wasn't aware that they had an edition of this on disc, and so I was really excited to pick this up. There are exactly 0 extra features on this one. Nonetheless, I'm very excited to have this, and I'm excited to see what the transfer looks like on this one. All right, next up we have from Arrow Films. So this is a title that I actually picked up on Amazon, but this is from Arrow Films out of the UK. And this is a documentary that focuses on one of my favorite. Now, I've seen some of his films growing up, but I really dove a lot more into his work as of late. Thank you to Indicator. And what we have here is Ray Harryhausen, Special Effects Titan. So I've watched through the films on the Indicator box sets, and I am really excited to have this for some supplemental viewing. Yeah, really excited. So this was from 2016, and we have quite a few extra features here. We have a lot of interviews, interview outtakes, a message to Ray, deleted scenes on the set of Sinbad, Paris Cinematique Q&A, London Gate Cinema Q&A, audio commentary original trailer, Ray Harryhausen trailer reel, reversible sleeve, and that's it. So really great presentation here, and there is reversible artwork on this one actually. That's the artwork on here is how it comes, but I really liked this reversible art on this one, and it's actually got really cool a really cool disc design on there as well. So really excited to watch this. I love documentaries. I love Ray Harryhausen, and so this was just a match made in heaven for me. All right. Next up, we have a really, really special documentary. This is from a filmmaker by the name of Lisa Downs out of the UK, and she and her production partners, they have put together a really fascinating documentary, and this is called Life After the Navigator. So this looks at actor Joey Kramer, who starred as David Freeman in Flight of the Navigator from the 80s. This was one of my, and still is, one of my favorite movies. Definitely one of my most watched movies from from growing up. And I was really excited to see this, and there's a really, really interesting story told here about Joey Kramer and kind of the story of his life after, as the title states, after the Navigator. And this is another one, just like Fire in the Sky, that I'm going to be doing a more in-depth look at. So stay tuned on the channel for that. That's really all I'm going to say for now. But this one does include some great extra features as well. But just a really amazing, heartfelt, really powerful documentary here by Lisa Downs. And look forward to going into that more very soon. All right, next up we have one title from Shout Select. I know a lot of Walmarts have been picking up some of these titles. When they come into my local Walmart, I tend to pick them up pretty quickly because the price on them is pretty aggressive, usually about $12, $13 or so, which is a great deal on Shout titles. This is Richard Pryor and John Candy in Brewster's Millions, and this has a new audio commentary, new interview with screenwriter Herschel Weingrod. Brewster's Millions 1945 adaptation starring Dennis O'Keefe and Helen Walker, so that'll be really interesting to watch. And then we get a theatrical trailer and a still gallery. I saw that this is John Candy and Richard Pryor, so was just a title I had to pick up, and I'm looking forward to watching this one. This is not one that I've seen yet. And last up on the boutique label stuff, we have a release that I was really excited about. I've had we actually unboxed this set on the channel previously, so you can go and watch that video if you'd like. But this is the Arrow Video release of Tremors. This is the limited edition Blu-ray box set, and lots of good extras included on the inside of the box here. And as far as this edition, you can tell I'm not going to go over everything here, but there are a lot of extra features. You get a great poster and a book in here as well. great film, 1990. It's a classic. Really happy to have this edition from Arrow in my collection. All right, now moving over, these are, I'm going to zip right through these. These are kind of main or studio released Blu-rays that I've picked up over the month of January. So first up, we have Eddie Murphy in Coming to America, which has a few good extra features here, as well as a digital copy with this one. So glad to have that. Next up, we have Lana Turner and John Garfield in The Postman Always Rings Twice. This is a classic that has evaded me for years, and I finally decided to pick it up. In fact, I picked this up after, I'll just go ahead and bring this one up now. I picked this up after I watched Double Indemnity, which I picked up this month as well. A Billy Wilder film, absolutely fantastic. And just in my research, and The Postman Always Rings Twice comes up, and that's just another gap that I want to fill in my watching of the classics. So yeah, The Postman Always Rings Twice. We have an introduction by Richard Jewell, Lana Turner, A Daughter's Memoir, the John Garfield story, Phantoms Incorporated, Red Hot Riding Hood. So we get a Tex Avery cartoon, which is great. Screen Guild theater broadcast and the theatrical trailer. And then with Double Indemnity, this is yet another one that I'd like to go and do an in-depth review on. So I'll just say stay tuned for more on this. Fantastic presentation here. Really engaging extra features, and much more on that film to come. I really enjoyed it. Spoiler alert. All right, next up here, we have the 40th anniversary edition of Martin Scorsese, maybe Martin Scorsese's most important film. This is Robert De Niro in none other than Taxi Driver. I've heard wonderful things about this disc and the transfer here. Lots of extra features, and I'm looking forward to revisiting this film. This is one that I've seen several times before and absolutely love, and just really looking forward to seeing what this disc has to offer. But I've heard wonderful things about this disc in particular. So at about $14 or so, that was a no-brainer to add to the collection this month. All right, next up, we have Nancy Kelly, Patty McCormick, Henry Jones, Evelyn Varden, and this is The Bad Seed. I watched this recently via the Turner Classic Movies streaming app, which is a great place to watch classic titles if you're into streaming. They actually have a lot of good content available on there, and I absolutely loved this film. It's got a really really great performance by Patty McCormick, and there's actually a commentary on here featuring Patty McCormick and Charles Busch, and there's also a feature in which there's a conversation with Patty McCormick. So there's an actual interview and then a theatrical trailer. So not terribly heavy on special features, but still, I would love to hear from Patty McCormick on her thoughts all these years later on her portrayal as this little devil girl. Just a really great performance, and I kind of had the look and feel almost of like a Twilight Zone episode. Really loved this one. So that is The Bad Seed. Next up, we have a stone cold classic. This is Humphrey Bogart and Mary Astor in The Maltese Falcon. I don't need to say anything about this film because it's one of the best films of all time. But I'm really excited to have this edition, and there's a set of extra features on these editions from Warner that I really love, and that's the Warner Night at the Movies feature, and we get that here. So Warner Night at the Movies 1941 short subject gallery. So we get a newsreel, musical short, The Gay Parisian, two classic cartoons, Hiawatha's Rabbit Hunt and Meet John Doughboy, trailers of this movie, 1941's Sergeant York and 1936's previous Falcon movie adaptation, Satan Met a Lady. And then you get audio-only bonus features, 3 radio show adaptations, 2 featuring the movie's original stars, plus another starring Edward G. Robinson. I mean, just amazing. And that's not even all the extra features. As you can see here, just a great list of features, a fantastic film, and really happy to add this. In terms of film noir titles, having added Double Indemnity and the Maltese Falcon, really those are two, if you're looking to get into film noir, those are 2 must-have titles. And then I actually added another Humphrey Bogart film, which is something that I've seen before and absolutely love. And this is another release from Warner that has the Warner Night at the Movies. This is 1948's The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. So this Warner Night at the Movies includes an introduction by Leonard Maltin, which all you have to say is Leonard Maltin, and I'm interested. Newsreel, 2 classic cartoons, comedy short, theatrical trailers, and it doesn't specify, at least on the back here, what the animated shorts are. And then there is a radio show with the movie's original stars. So that is The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Next up, we're getting into some horror material here. Now, these 2 documentaries that I'm about to talk about, I've seen both of these, and they are wonderful. They're very exhaustive. They talk to the original cast and creators of these films, and these are really quintessential in terms of their subject matter. Coverage of their subject matter. So first up here we have Never Sleep Again, The Elm Street Legacy. Up till this point, I've had these on digital. This, and I'll just go ahead and bring this up right now, Crystal Lake Memories, The Complete History of Friday the 13th. And I do want to mention, I don't have it here with me, but I did pick up the accompanying book that this is based off of. And it's a really large format book. It's really beautiful. But I've had these 2 documentaries on digital up till this point. And so I wanted to get the Blu-rays to have them in my collection on my shelf. And so I went ahead and did that. These were both, I want to say, right about $20 or so. And as far as Crystal Lake Memories, there's a commentary with Daniel Ferrens, Peter Brack, and Luke Rafalowski. However, on Never Sleep Again, we get a lot more bonus features. So we get extended interviews with cast and crew, Horror's Hallowed Grounds, Return to Elm Street. Now, Horror's Hallowed Grounds is a great series, and I'm sorry I don't remember his name off the top of my head. He has a YouTube channel, and he's done features. I know he has a Hallowed Grounds episode for Halloween 2 on the Scream Factory disc. If you're interested in seeing some of his work and you have that disc, this is the same guy. And then you have Expanding the Elm Street Universe, Freddy in Comics and Novels, A Nightmare on Elm Street in 10 Minutes, the music of The Nightmare, conversations with composers and songwriters, and much more. So really packed disc here. But even just as the standalone documentaries, these are absolutely worth it. And in fact, I'll go ahead and bring this one up right now. I wasn't going to do this till the end because this is on DVD. And DVDs go at the end of the video. But this is, his name was Jason, 30 Years of Friday the 13th. I've heard great things about this documentary, and so to kind of supplement the viewing of these Crystal Lake Memories and the book, I wanted to see what this documentary had to offer, and this was like $7 or $8 on Amazon. It is on DVD, and this is actually a 2-disc edition, and there are some great extra features here, which you can see. All right. And continuing on the path of horror, we have a Shudder original series here when I was doing my Shudder trial, I actually watched this series. Actually, let's see here. So there's 5 episodes here, and I watched 2 of them. So I watched the Poltergeist episode and the Exorcist episode. This is Cursed Films. So these explore the backstory of the production on these films. They have kind of a shady production history, and this series kind of explores that and some of the myths and some of the things that happened behind the scenes or during the making of these films. And like I said, I've seen the Poltergeist and Exorcist episodes, and they were really engaging, really interesting. And you also get a special feature on here, a director's audio commentary for all 5 episodes. So that'll be really interesting to see, and to kind of add to the episodes as commentaries always do. But yeah, Cursed Films here, really interesting series. This is a Shudder original, so if you have access to the streaming service, I highly recommend this, or you can do like I did and pick this up on disc. All right, and next up, we have 2 AMC series. So the first one is also horror related. This is Eli Roth's History of Horror Season 1. I found this show to be really engaging. I did watch the entire season, and I can't remember. I actually think I saw this one on Shudder as well. I believe that's where it was available when I watched it. But just really engaging. He talks with a lot of the big names in the horror film industry, and they explore some really great titles on here. So I'll go ahead and let you get to it if this is something that you're interested in. This is absolutely worth your time if you're a fan of horror films. Great extended interviews on here with the likes of Stephen King, Edgar Wright, Roger Corman, Joe Dante, Quentin Tarantino, Diablo Cody, and John Landis. So you can see A-list people here were interviewed for this show. And then we also have some extra features here. How Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein influenced Tarantino. How video games resurrected zombie movies. Is horror sexist or feminist? Making a Monster, and Scarred for Life. Total runtime on this season is 4 hours and 54 minutes. Again, 100% worth your money if you're into horror movies. I hope they do a season 2. If they do, I will absolutely be picking up that set as well. All right, next up, we just got a few more titles to go here. Thank you so much for sticking around with me here. These videos I make are always longer than I expected them to be. Next up here, we have James Cameron's Story of Science Fiction. So I want to bring up again here, so History of Horror, this is an AMC series. As you can see, the AMC mark on there, logo on there, and this is also an AMC series. I watched very, very little of this, but it really grabbed my attention, and so I wanted to just pick up the Blu-ray and watch through the rest of the series. I strongly prefer physical media to streaming for many, many reasons, but this is a subject matter that I'm absolutely into, and so I wanted to pick this up. So runtime on this is 4 hours and 12 minutes, and this has extended interviews, just like the History of Horror. Extended interviews with Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Ridley Scott, Christopher Nolan, Guillermo del Toro, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So again, A-list names, and from what I've seen, really engaging. Absolutely looking forward to watching the rest of this series, which I will be doing very, very soon. All right, next up, we have a title. I actually picked this up yesterday on the last day of the month, so this just made it in for this video. And this is a film by Brandon Cronenberg. His debut, which is Possessor. Now, this debuted at the Sundance Film Festival, which there's actually a little blurb on here from Film Threat, and I've heard a little bit about this film. Obviously, I know who his father is, and I've got a little bit of experience with David Cronenberg's films, but I'm really interested to see what his son produced here with Possessor. And as you can see here, just a really kind of disturbing cover here for sure. But this film is... What year is this from? This is from 2019. So you get some deleted scenes, behind the scenes, and trailers. So pretty basic extra features here. But this is from Neon Studios, and just really grabbed my attention. And I saw this on the rack yesterday at Walmart, and it was, I think, $15. And really interested to see, again, kind of how this relates to the work of David Cronenberg in style, or how Brandon kind of makes his own name with this film. But I know, I'll say I know very little going into this, but I'm really excited to watch that one. And also at Walmart, I was excited to find this, and from what I've heard, now I'm not an absolute slipcover junkie or anything like that. I like when they're included, but I don't have to have a slipcover on absolutely everything. That being said, I heard that this one was actually really hard to find with a slipcover, so I was really surprised to see this at Walmart with the slipcover and for $10. This is the 4K for 10 Cloverfield Lane. This has the 4K Blu-ray and digital HD, and at $10, it was just kind of a no-brainer. I've seen the film and I love it, and I actually have Cloverfield, which I picked up at Walmart with the slipcover as well. So really nice to have these both in the collection with their nice slipcover intact. But just really wonderful film. This and Cloverfield, I'm a big fan of. The other Cloverfield, which I think was a Netflix film, if I remember right, I watched that when it was released, and it was very forgettable. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but 10 Cloverfield Lane was very tense, very fun watch, and again at $10, it was just a no-brainer to pick up while I was in the store. Two more releases here to look at. First, we will look at a DVD set that I've covered on the channel. There's a pretty recent video on I Got You, Babe, the best of Sonny and Cher. This is a 10-disc set from Time Life, and Amazon had an amazing price on this of $11.99, so I jumped right on that. Thank you again to Heath over at Serial at Midnight for the price notification on that. I went and picked it right up. So again, this is a 10-disc set, and there's actually a booklet included as well. If you're into 70s TV shows, this might be something for you to consider as well. But yeah, you can go back and watch the video on this one if you're interested in seeing more on that set. Last up, we have a big one. This is the big pickup of the month for me. I was so excited. My awesome wife got this for me. This is The Office, the complete series on Blu-ray. So here's this set. So excited to have the Blu-ray complete collection on this one. And here's a look at kind of the extra features blurb here. And then we, of course, have all 9 seasons. And just really, really excited to have this in just a nice uniform set here. No stacked discs. Really great packaging overall. And for a huge fan of The Office, there's not much more that you could ask for. I guess the only other thing that I would ask for is that we get the original BBC series on Blu-ray. I have the DVD box set on that one. I love that series as well. But maybe someday we'll see a Blu-ray release. If not, I'm excited to have that one, even if it's only on DVD, in the collection as well. Okay, we made it to the end here. That is all that I picked up for the month of January 2021. As I said, it was a lot more busy of a month than I had originally anticipated, but I'm very excited about, well, all of these titles that have entered the collection. Let me know in the comments down below if you've added any titles to your collection this month. What were some of the highlights for you? And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, I invite you to hit this, if I can talk, the subscribe button, the like button, and also the bell icon. That will notify you when I upload new videos in the future. And I will talk to you again really soon.